Hey guys, my name's Jesse Hintz. This is my first art YouTube video, and what I am going over here is a project that I just started a couple months back. Slow going. I have twin babies at home, so I need to squeeze this in at the wee hours of the morning. So I came up with this idea of to get back into illustration and design to do the series of alphabet animals. So going through all 26 characters of the alphabet and then creating an animal to correspond with that. So what I got here is the letter A that I'm going to start off with for alligator. And I've always had a love of animals, so I thought it'd be a good project for me to get going and expand my visual vocabulary and start getting back into sketching. I'm basically doing a lot of web programming for my day job, and I kind of drifted away from illustrating and design and whatnot, and because the power of and the opportunities for development just kind of sucked me in, and now it spit me back out. No, just kidding. But it's something I wanted to do for myself because I felt like I was lacking a lot of creativity in my day to day. So this gives me an opportunity to work on something that I want to work on, and get back out there. Maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll change my career path as things go on, and move out of development and get back into more design style of work, or build up a little side gig. Going through this process has really allowed me to see what I can accomplish if I wake up really early in the morning, so that's been great. And also, I had kind of forgotten what it was like in my little rut of just kind of living daily life to have fun making things. So here I am going through the thumbnail process. Thumbnailing is always a really trying time for me. I just sit here and sketch and doubt myself. So through this process, hopefully through the process of creating these new illustrations, hopefully the process will become more enjoyable. I know back when I went to design school, a lot of people, who didn't know how to draw, who were learning how to design, or people that just did not like the process at all. They wanted to get right to the computer, which is pretty common, I think. I'm not sure from the feedback I've gotten, the majority of people didn't like to thumbnail at all. So, of course, teachers had always pushed this into you to thumbnail it. Yeah, but there's always a little pushback from getting a lot done. When I took an illustration class, I know they had me drawing like 50 drawings, sitting down doing like 50 little sketches or whatever, and that was, yeah, pretty tough to thumbnail that much for one drawing, because I like to start getting into more finished work sooner. So that had always been tough too. I started to, from getting back into drawing here, I started to use this technique where you hold your pencil a little bit further back, which helps you draw lighter. So that was interesting to start to incorporate that. I don't think I'm doing as much here, but yeah, a little bit. You can see I'm kind of holding it back further, because I have a tendency to draw hard, or press hard when I sketch, and that can be, well, hard on the fingers for one, and two, hard to erase. I wonder if I should put down notes as I watch this and record. This is a design where I actually started to like where I was going with it. I used reference material on Google to look at alligators as I was drawing here. And this is where, as I build up this process of going through the alphabet of animals, hopefully I'll have a new visual vocabulary to draw from my imagination from. And that's kind of a goal too, was to build that up and just build up the technical, get my hand-eye coordination developed, and I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate the A, although I didn't kind of go with any of the designs from the thumbnail for the A. So that's another thing is I really want to practice on is the iteration process, and just coming up with different versions just quickly instead of these drawings they're tighter than they should be, as even though they're not great drawings, they're tighter than they need to be for when it comes to for a thumbnail. They're a little bigger than they should be, in my opinion, and they're a little harder lines and not as loose as they should be. You got that? So yeah, anyone that has tips for thumbnailing, please leave those in the comments, and I'd like to see some discussion on that. Like, how do you thumbnail, and how is the best way to iterate through drawings, for coming up with ideas and layout and compositions for this is more of a logo type, I guess. Is kind of where the direction I was going. Sorry, this got a little blurry here. Not in focus for this one. So through this process, I'm learning how to film myself or record myself, and too bad I didn't. I got a tripod, but it's only a vertical one. It doesn't have an arm that extends out over the tablet. So I kind of, if I had the one with an arm, I could get rid of that perspective on the tablet a little better. But it's okay. But yeah, here's again a couple more drawings, and then so I picked a thumbnail here, and I decided to start to finish this one. So now I'm kind of like looking at my design instead of looking at my thumbnails instead of the reference, except for when it comes to the details like the foot, the feet. I kind of use a little more reference, and started to kind of finalize it. Try to just tighten up the line so I can get that into Illustrator. And that's the process I'm going through right here. I'm struggling a little bit there with the feet. We figured out that it looks a little better back there. Drawing out the teeth. The reason why I decided to go with this project is because I'm a father of twin boys, and so I just thought, I just have probably skipped ahead in the order of how I did things, because I went to vector after this, which you'll see coming up. And this is how I drew out the vector. From that sketch I did, I traced it out on a light board too before, on a light table, after I got that first sketch done, and then I retraced it to get the lines nice and tight. And here I am going through the vector process, and it feels good. back into doing design work. I work as a web developer right now, and that I kind of lost the affordance of being able to sketch and draw as much as I'd like to, and so hence the side project. Just trying to really figure out Illustrator here again, relearn all the quick, I don't know, all the shortcuts. I pretty much had everything down on what to do. It's just a matter of the speed of implementing it is kind of what can be improved upon here. And so the next drawing that I'm going to, excuse me, that I'll be working on, I think I was going to start in the middle of the alphabet and start to work my way back, or work my way towards the front, and then go back, and then maybe go back over the initial letters, because if my style starts to change to something better through the next iteration, then I'd like to see that happen. I'd like to see those implemented in the whole project. And then what I'm also failing to mention is, since I am a web developer, I'm taking each one to learn web animation a little bit better, because that sounds like that is a fun part of the web. And so the project's kind of twofold. One, learn how to illustrate better, and two, learn web animation. Which I have it down to, I have some basic skills in it, but this will help me learn how to actually animate SVGs, and that's why I need to use Illustrator rather than Photoshop, because vectors work better with web animating SVGs. So Illustrator, I figured, would be a better source. So I did finish the little animation. All I did was had his mouth open and shut on hover. The bottom jaw just rotates, which I can put a link to that here. And it's not how it needs improvement, that's for sure, but yeah, for learning a new skill, it's fine to start. I'm using GreenSock for the animation library, which has a timeline tool built in. I've done some flash animation, some little kind of banner type ads, little CSS animation, but I've done a little 3D modeling too, but haven't really got into hardcore animation techniques, so that's really going to be an exciting experience to learn how to do this, and hopefully apply it to my current position as well. So I'm looking forward to that. And I just eyeballed the color there, or just kind of picked a color that looked good on screen, which isn't necessarily the best, especially if you're doing print work. And here we go. I guess I figured out color palette there. Adobe Cooler, or it was called Cooler now, it's like Adobe Color or something like that. For the shading, my wife told me, it's too basic. It needed some shading, which I already had agreed, but when I showed her, that's kind of what she came up with. And that was her feedback. It needs a lot more than that, but so I'm trying to figure out a look that I'm going for. The line on this is line on this is kind of doesn't have any pressure strokes to it, so that's what I'd like to incorporate on the next one, is get some variance in the stroke width, so it looks a little more painterly almost, or inked. So that's where I'll be going with that one. And yeah, I'm not super happy with the way the shading works, just because it doesn't always naturally, it doesn't look natural throughout the whole drawing. Some spots it looks good, but yeah, just figuring out what type of look I want to go for when it comes to illustrating these little logos, or alphabet marks, if you will. The hardest part on this was, well, the eye was difficult to figure out how to crop that out on the top, and the mouth, when I had to separate the jaw out later on to rotate that for the animation, that was kind of tricky to get everything to overlap right as you rotated it. And the Pathfinder tool is your friend on this too, when it comes to like making your shapes on an Illustrator. And she's getting pretty close to done here. Yeah, I'm gonna throw in the letter here, and then we're gonna move that there. And this is not the final design, but it's kind of where I landed at this stage, and then I revised it a little further and busted out the jaw so I can animate that. Thank you for watching, everyone. This has been a trying experience, but the quality will improve, as well as the drawing. So come back and check in on me again. Thank you.